Alright, this video is going to be short because the assignment itself was short. If you did not, well, sort of short. If you did not do the Desmos activity that was in the classwork tab in Google Classroom, you need to do that before you proceed to this. Otherwise, the assignment's not going to make sense. You should have the ability to work through all 8 of the slides and just toggle and toy around with the different features of those. If you don't, let me know, and then we'll go, like, if for some reason you were absent, let me know. We'll give you access to that, and then you can go through and you should be able to answer these questions, at least as far as part of what it wants you to do. So for instance, it says for each real world context or circumstance, determine the center of dilation. So that's kind of the focus of the Desmos activity, is to go back and look at, hey, what is the center of dilation? What do we mean by center of dilation? And then the second thing, okay, because it says and right here, is approximate a way to find the scale factor. How would you determine that? So for instance, in this first question, we're going to look at Fran walks backwards a distance that will allow her family to show up in the photo as she is about to take the photo. The other instance that I gave in class is I stole somebody's phone. I know this is not a phone, it's an eraser. But I said, hey, what if you take your phone and you do this so you can get whatever's behind you in the selfie you're trying to take, or get all your friends in the selfie that you're trying to take, okay? What are you doing? In order to do that, you take the phone and you move the phone back and forth, right? All right, so when we do that, where is the center of dilation? So in this picture, I painted the picture of a group of people and a person taking so here's a group of people. We'll just draw 2 is more than a group, but we'll draw 3. And then you have the person back over here taking the picture, and in order to make sure they get everybody in the picture, they move that camera, right? They move that camera back and forth, right? So this camera gets moved back and forth so that everybody is in the picture, right? That person taking the camera. Go ahead, laugh at my stick figures. I'm not an artist, right? Where is the center of dilation? Where do you think the center of dilation is? Or COD. That's what I'm going to call center of dilation, because I don't want to write the word center or dilation. Right? Where's the center of dilation? Think about that. Where would it be? Most of us, and in class we discussed, it is the camera lens. Okay? So that's great. That's half the question. Now, the other part that you are to try and figure out is approximate the scale factor, or a way to determine the scale factor. So how would I determine the scale factor? Well, when we look at a scale factor, if we look at a scale factor of 2 triangles, all right, obviously one's smaller than the other, and one side is 2, the other side is 10, and we went from this small figure to the large figure, we went pre-image to image. How do we determine the scale factor for it? Well, the scale factor is done by taking the image and dividing it by the pre-image, right? So a corresponding side. So in this case, it would be 10 over 2, which is 5. That's how we would do that. We actually physically have something that's larger, we're comparing it to something that's smaller, and we have numbers that we can compare. But what about over here? We don't have numbers that we can compare. Well, okay, if I don't have numbers, and sorry, you can't see that. Here's the better illustration of that. We don't have numbers that we can compare. Okay, fair enough. But what's the pre-image and what's the image? You have to stop and think. What's the pre-image and what's the image? Because after this person takes a picture, they're going to go and get that picture developed. And that picture is going to be maybe a 4x6 picture. All right? So we physically have the 4x6 picture here. What else do we have? What would the pre-image be? The pre-image would be the actual people, the actual people before we took the picture. So now I have something to compare, but the only thing I don't have is I don't have numbers to compare. All right? Well, watch this. If this person is in the family and taking a picture of family members, a majority of the time, you probably know the height of one of these people, don't you? And let's take Johnny right here. Johnny, if we know the height of Johnny to be 4 feet, Johnny's a young guy, He's 4 feet tall. Can we find the height of Johnny in the photograph? Sure. How would we do that? We would take a ruler, right? So maybe we take a ruler and Johnny is 3 inches high in the photo. Well, can we determine how many inches high Johnny is in real life? Yeah. But I compared inches to feet. That's an improper comparison. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change those 4 feet to 48 inches, and now I'm comparing 48 to 3, which, whatever that ratio would work out to be, there would be your scale factor. All right? So that's how we would have to approach that. Yes, we don't know those, but could we find the scale factor? Yes, we could find the scale factor. So somehow that's how we need to incorporate that sentence into our notes. And basically, what could you say? You could say, hey, I measure the height of, if I know the height of Johnny in real life, I measure the height of him in the picture. That's how I would find out what the scale factor is. Now, for the rest of these, if you don't get the scale factor, I want you to think. If you don't get a plausible way to find the scale factor, you should at least be able to estimate what is the center of dilation. All right? So, if anything, get the COD for the rest of these, or think about what the COD is. If you don't get the scale factor, that's fine. I want us to focus more on the scale, on what the center of dilation is anyway. So there's a short video for you.